Congresswoman Sheila Jackson-Lee, the Democrat from Texas, has shown once again that she is not the brightest bulb in the box. She's known to run her mouth and act like an authority on things that she has absolutely no idea what she's talking of. And she's done it again during a hearing with FBI Director, the disgraced Christopher Wray, when she trashed FBI whistleblower Kyle Seraphin. Seraphin, in his response, said of the Congresswoman from Texas, "She's not intelligent." Let's get into it. Hey guys, welcome back. So Kyle Seraphin, the FBI whistleblower, isn't impressed by Texas Democrat Congresswoman Sheila Jackson-Lee's attacks on his credibility during that recent hearing in D.C. During that hearing, Lee took off on a tangent against many of the whistleblowers who have come forward, pointing out the corruption at the FBI and the DOJ. She reads tweets into the congressional record that proved she was clueless of what she was talking about. That comes as no surprise, as most people can see that her IQ barely makes it out of the single digits. Okay, here's the Congresswoman using her time during the testimony of Christopher Wray to trash whistleblowers, specifically Kyle Seraphin.
Let me just quickly indicate that I have a document that is a tweet that is wanting to submit into the record. Two of the Republican witnesses were gifted 255,000 checks, 255,000 in checks immediately after they testified before this committee. It seems to be quid pro quo, but the fact of the tweet that I'm submitting from Mr. Kyle Seraphin says the fact that Mr. Allen has not yet cashed a check is not that he did not receive the check. So I submit in the record the tweet from Mr. Seraphin, who indicated that two gentlemen, Garrett and Marcus, were receiving a check of
continue your attack on whistleblowers without objection. Those are
just a clarification, Mr. Chairman, and then finally, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, Department of Homeland Security, strategic.
She didn't even care that Jim just called her out, the chairman, that he just called her out, that she was going to continue her attacks on whistleblowers. I thought whistleblowers were supposed to be the greatest thing since sliced bread. I mean, I thought we were supposed to revere them. They were virtuous, right? Right? But no. When a whistleblower goes against the Democratic Party in any way, they're scum.
Strategic Intelligence Assessment and Data on Domestic Terrorism, dated October 2022, Appendix A, the document itself, Appendix A, Appendix B, and the categories of domestic violent extremism.
Without objection.
Your kindness is...
Thankfully, Kyle Seraphin is pleased to provide a full rebuttal to the Texas Democrats' claims. Seraphin said, "In May of this year, I watched my friends testify in front of Congress, and they were smeared for saying things that were true. And a result of that, we had allegations that they were being paid by Kash Patel and his legal foundation, Fight with Cash." Seraphin explains how Patel provided supplementary monies to FBI whistleblowers who had gone 10 to 16 months without a paycheck. There is a federal law that says that you cannot retaliate against whistleblowers in any way, shape, or form. But the Biden administration punishes them by not paying them. They didn't fire them, but they did not pay them. They're making the process the punishment. So Seraphin says Cash sending them $2,500 or $5,000 at a time intermittently was not exactly a payment. I would say that was just keeping their head above water, and Cash got smeared for trying to help. There's actually an ethics complaint against Dan Goldman because of this stuff, Seraphin said. "I pivoted an existing Give, Send, Go account that was under my name," Seraphin explained. "We raised about $39,000 under my name, basically saying funds would be supporting me and other whistleblowers who I left unnamed at the time because they were still private, Garrett O'Boyle and Steve Friend." Seraphin says that he gave $15,000 of the under $40,000 originally raised and a lesser amount to Steve Friend. Remember, the FBI and the DOJ are not paying them, and at the same time, they're not allowed to seek or receive any other job. How did they expect them to survive, to feed their families? Over a year, this bankrupts many of the patriotic whistleblowers who have revealed corruption in those agencies. From the Gateway Pundit, another piece of fundraising pie went to Steve Friend, while the rest was spent by Seraphin on personal expenses. Quote, there wasn't a significant amount of money stretched over a period of about a year, but that's what we had. I essentially gave the FBI notice that I was acknowledging that they had constructively terminated me on April 14, and within about 2 or 3 weeks of that, we got the guys testifying in front of Congress. After the story went viral, Seraphin says funds poured in. Quote, a bunch of bigger accounts went and retweeted it from my socials. Everyone from Dan Bongino and Tracy Beans and Sebastian Gorka and Dinesh D'Souza and some others. And so it ended up catching about 2 or 3 million views, something along those lines. Seraphin says the boosted publicity led to a current total of $603,000 raised through roughly 11,000 independent donors. But administrative fees lower the total to about $585,000. Quote, I revamped the Give, Send, Go at the $40,000 mark, this other $560,000 that we raised, and basically stated that it's going to go and support Marcus Allen and Garrett. And that's what they're going to be giving their money to, and that I won't be taking a penny of it, explained Seraphin. And that's been true so far. Seraphin says he wrote 2 checks totaling $255,000 and change and publicly posted them to social media. Seraphin went on to say about the checks, that's what was shown in Congress, stating that I was writing these checks. They illogically linked Kash Patel to it because they're not creative. And the people who work for Sheila Jackson-Lee seem to be about as smart as Sheila Jackson-Lee, which is not that smart. They said I was paying for whistleblower testimony, but they got the money after the testimony happened, after we had the publicity, after we had a bunch of independent donors. So it was after the fact, but Sheila Jackson-Lee is either stupid or she's lying. You decide. Seraphin continued. Our largest donation was $5,000. We had about 2 or 3 of those. One of those people was Steve Friend's parents. So Sheila Jackson-Lee blows up with my pictures out there, mispronounces my name in front of Congress, and says that I'm buying whistleblower testimony. So while Representative Sheila Jackson-Lee and other members of Congress seek to stifle revelations about a weaponized DOJ, their ignorant attacks lend more credence to the FBI whistleblowers' claims. They're just not that bright. But folks, think about this. As members of Congress, why would you come out and attack whistleblowers who are telling you that the DOJ and the FBI are corrupt and that they have evidence and proof? Why would you do that? Why would you take sides when it comes to something like that? Well, the Democrats are the ones that started this culture war. They're fighting for keeps. So we had Sheila Jackson-Lee, a member of Congress from Texas, who made shit up about FBI whistleblowers who are being treated very poorly by the Biden administration. All right, so that's it. Thanks for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one.